Hello and welcome. It's been a little while. I took a break after the Magnus Protocol alchemy video. That was a very big video and I just needed a break. Bad timing for it because, holidays. But anyway, I took a break and I'm back, ready to rock, ready to go. Theory time. I have not yet listened to episode 1 of season 2 of Magnus Protocol on the Patreon. I really wanted to, but I wanted to record this episode first, this theory first, right? That way there would be no way that I could step on that or spoil anything from that. So I want to go ahead and get this done. I've tried a couple times to record it. Hopefully this time it works so that after I record it, I can go listen to that episode. Either way, let's play the intro. So, theories. I don't have any super crazy theories. I know there were a couple comments that were like, oh, I can't wait to hear Trey's wild, crazy theories. Here we go. But I do have a couple that I think are pretty likely. The first big one is kind of unfortunate, having just finished the alchemy video. But my biggest theory is that none of that stuff I studied is going to matter. Obviously, the alchemy will still be important for the protocol world. But it seems like Sam is in Archives world now, in that dimension, and that other dimensions operate on their own rules, and so probably none of that's going to matter. It's possible that it still will, because Celia seemed like she knew something about it, but also her knowledge might have been incomplete. So, big theory number 1 is that alchemy doesn't matter near as much as I thought it did. Hopefully that's not true, but that's my gut feeling right now. So that theory is, again, not much to talk about there. Just that's my big theory. We'll move on to some of my smaller theories, which I still think are pretty likely, but I think are a lot more interesting to talk about. Because ultimately, if every world follows, every dimension follows its own rules, then, what we know from Archives and what we've learned from Protocol may not matter for Season 2. And that's kind of a shame. I would understand if they went that way. I would understand if that was the focus, but it's kind of a shame if so. Theory number 2. I think Trevor Herbert is going to be very important in this next season. I think he is far more than what he lets on, and I think that there is more of him in him. Because the big crux of this theory is that even though they're separated by dimensions, these people still might be the same people. Helen might have been very different, but that laugh was very similar. Trevor is still very cutthroat. Jerry is still Jerry, even though he's not Jerry. Does that make sense? It still feels like the core of who he is. And, I think we'll see that Gertrude is still Gertrude as well. Could that be completely out of nowhere? Absolutely. Might not matter at all. But I feel like there is going to be more of these characters that we already know and love. I don't know necessarily that means that we're going to get more of them, by which I mean we might not get a Daisy, right? But I think it would be very interesting if we had, say, Trevor meet another Trevor or something like that, right? Just for example. Ultimately, I think this one also might not happen at all. But I really feel like there's more to it than that, other than just they're kind of similar. Don't you see it? They're kind of similar. Theory number 3. I think that Kennings' project, the Millennium Dome and everything that was going on there with the fear of you don't know what's coming next, right? I think that is going to be very important moving forward. I think that is the fear that is going to settle in as our cast is faced with all this uncertainty, right? Sam is gone. Celia is... what's going on with her now? Colin is probably in a machine. Lena has left. I feel like the fear of not knowing what's coming next is going to be very applicable and specifically might do something with Gwen, right? Very vague, I know, but who knows which way the story's going to go. Like I said, this is my 12th time to try and record this video. So just bear with me here, but I do think that is going to come up again. Because everybody's in over their heads now, and I think it's going to be important. Simple little thing, probably going to be very wrong. At the end of the next season, we'll come back and laugh at this, but I really do believe that phrase and what Kennings was working on and that aspect of the fears is going to be important. The fear of not knowing, right? There's the fear of being known, but the fear of not knowing. I think that's going to be important. Theory number 4. I think we're going to get introduced to Starkwell a little bit better in this next season. And I think one of the ways we're going to do that is they're going to kill or pacify one of the threats that we know are lurking right now. It could very easily be Needles. Needles seems like kind of a punching bag right now. I like Needles a lot, but I feel like Needles could very easily be the one that gets caught, right? But could also be like a weird subversion, and we might get like Mowbray caught by Starkwell. Because at this point, I'm positive that Starkwell is catching these monsters and either killing them or doing something to them, locking them away or something of the sort. So I think we'll get more information on Starkwell. And I know when it comes to theories, like I said, I've tried to record this many times. That's kind of a bum theory, right? Everybody can say, well, yeah, I mean, Starkwell seems like it's going to be important later. I just feel like they're not just going to be important, right? They're going to be actively hunting these things. Because we're almost positive it was Starkwell that took down the group that had come in with the donations, right? Theory number 5. Can you tell that none of these are super great? That's why this video took a long time and I took a break instead of making it right away. I think we're going to see Ignatius again. I know we didn't see Ignatius in the first place, but Colin had mentioned Ignatius, who went off the reservation because he thought that the governments of many countries were after him. I also think in that same vein, things that had been mentioned before, right? The Psycho Goat monster that Sam mentions, I think that's going to happen. I don't believe those are just world-building hints, right? I think they're going to wind up showing up again. Whether they're important or not, I can't say. But I think there's going to be reference to them later on. Theory number 6. I don't think Colin's fully dead. I think he's going to be a new voice in the machine now. I think he's a part of it, whether he wants to be or not. And whether he'll actually help them or not, hard to say. But I think he is now caught up in Freddy. And I don't think he'll ever be able to escape, unfortunately. But I don't think we've seen the last of Colin. Now, he absolutely could just be straight up fully dead. But it just feels to me like it would be really interesting if he wasn't, right? Theory number 7. Less of a theory and more of just it would be really interesting if... what if Sam is not in Archives World? What if he's in a different dimension that the Fears had already been through and ravaged and they were fought off in some way? I feel like it's almost assuredly Archives World because Celia came from there. But it would be really interesting if it was somewhere else completely, entirely. I tried to shove those words together. Entirely. Theory number 8. Error, the archivist, was not after Celia because of her story or because he cared about her, but because Error wanted to learn about Georgie, who's immune to fear. And Georgie's going to save the multiverse. This one is a lot lower down on my list of it's going to happen, but could be. I'm just saying, you know, Georgie across the multiverse, that'd be cool. That'd be nifty. Anyway, we should move on to the next theory. I got 2 more. Theory number 9. Albertus Magnus rules the world, / is the prime minister, / is Klaus. Now, I know, again, we're getting full crackpot theory time, but I don't believe Albertus Magnus is dead in this universe. I think he's absolutely still around. I think he's absolutely still causing problems. And it seems to me the easiest way to do that would be in some kind of high position at the government. So, just saying. It's important. Maybe Gwen's dad. These Magnuses sure do like to pretend to be Bouchards. Finally, theory number 10. One of our main characters is going to be revealed to actually be a version of themselves from another dimension, taking the place of the original version of them. Now, whether that is a character from this is where it's going to get confusing. Character from Protocol World that was actually like a third dimensions version of them that came to Protocol, or one of the characters from Archives World pretending to be their version in this world. And you may say, well, we already had that with Celia. What do you mean? Celia's kind of a special case, right? Because she knows about everything going on. I mean, it would still maybe happen that way with like Gertrude or something. But I was thinking more along the lines of like Alice. Someone else in a different Alice in a different universe and is here. And lastly, I have one tiny, small theory that is absolute crackpot theory, but I'm going to cling to it until the day I die or the series ends, whichever comes first. And that's theory 11, which is Alice is actually an avatar of the dark. Just think about it for a second. Just really stop and think about it. Alice hates the sun, hates daylight, doesn't like being awake in the day. Alice is always being, a little shadowy, lying about a lot of stuff, trying to hide her feelings. And so just, I'm just saying, it could, if you really, anyway, thanks for watching. I know this is a weird video. Trust me, I tried to record it so many times, but I didn't have a lot of really crazy theories about Protocol moving into Season 2 because of the way Season 1 ended. That epilogue that told us for sure Colin is at least dead, physically, right? And then Sam is in the London exclusion zone. That kind of wrapped up all my theories right there. And so some of these were a little silly, I know. But at the same time, I think they're all just as likely as each other. There are some that are a little bit less likely, maybe. But realistically, I'm just shooting in the dark anyway. So let me know your thoughts and your theories in the comment section down below. By the time this video goes up, I will have listened to the episode on Season 2. And so don't spoil it for people in the comments. Put like a spoiler tag and a bunch of spaces. But if you want to discuss that there, you can. Just please don't spoil it for anybody. Make sure you give everybody the appropriate warning. But either way, I am so stoked for Season 2. I'm so excited to see that all my hard work studying the alchemy stuff for it is worthless. But, at the same time, I'd be just as excited to learn a brand new system. So, until next time, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I've been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. Magnus. Also, real quick, I absolutely forgot to mention, and I'm sorry that I've cut in before the outro, but starting next year, not this year around the holidays or anything like that, starting next year, I also want to start reviewing Malevolent and Old Gods of Appalachia. Both super cool. I have a lot I want to say about them, and so starting next year, I'm going to be reviewing those as well, and maybe a couple other horror things that I really like, and a couple other weird things that I like as well. There's going to be weird stuff coming up on this channel, so I hope you will stick with us as we continue to move forward into 2025. All that said, though, thanks again so much for watching. I've been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. That Magnus Archives, Magnus Protocol, and Rusty Quill.